Yeah, you know what? It's time to have a pretty sad heart to heart about life. I lie when it comes to certain things, meaning I already know I should tell the truth, but I don't want to. So, if you ever want to know the truth about any topic, you could just think or say, my queen, my queen, my queen. Gods will tell you the truth about anything you want to know through my queen, my queen, my queen. And truth be told, I and all gods will tell you the truth if you are adamant that you want the answer. But some stuff is hard to talk about. You know that the churches didn't like Jesus, right? But God's God. So it wouldn't really matter that the churches don't like Jesus, huh? Because God's God. But that didn't seem to be winning, did it? This is what really goes on. Before Jesus got to earth, there was a spiritual choice overloaded tally. So everybody knew that Jesus was going to come to earth at some point. So humanity was making choices about Jesus coming to earth for years and years and years before he even got to earth. Those choices dictated whether or not church belonged to God and Jesus or the devil. So right there, what does that tell you? The world is so horrifyingly disgusting in vast majority. They are the reason most churches belong to the devil. And it's just a sad reality. You cannot change it. There's a reason that people can convince you to drink rat poison and die and call themselves the Messiah. The world has to be so disgusting that they allow these kind of things to exist or create these kind of things. The way Adam and Eve brought the fruit of the knowledge of being bitchy or grouchy or fighting, and inevitably it was going to bring murder and really bad things upon the earth. So, yeah, people made a lot of deals with the devil to be gross and bad against Jesus before he got to earth. And it made the churches belong to the devil, not God and Jesus. Because, yeah, you'd say, why didn't Jesus just say, bam, I'm Jesus, I'm walking on water, I'm going to take every church, my dad's God. Because the devil won, and Jesus had to just let it go. When humanity chooses the devil too much, God just has to let it go. Because humanity put the devil first. Obviously not a good devil. So what happened during this time? Well, Gloria Copeland made deals with the devil to make sure I'd stay poor, I'd stay unimportant, and I'd fuck off. So she'd have all the fame and money and worship. Right there, it tells you that very, very bad things happen among very, very bad people down here. And they're not ever going to tell the truth. They will walk around looking like living death overload, like that Jalisco guy, and just lie like fuck. And you know that's the only place all of you are headed, is everybody lying. I'm sure Gloria Copeland looks like she did it in front of everybody now. And she's going to keep lying. That's what they do. But, so the devil had the lockdown on church during Jesus's days. And the devil had beyond the lockdown on church in my days. So, you just let it go. When God didn't win, God didn't win. That's what these things are about. Whether good or bad ultimately wins once and for all is how this works, what this is about. So sorry. They could have chosen good, evil gods, because there are good, evil gods. And those good, evil gods make very beautiful, evil, good presence in church. Because people like black magic or the dark side of life, but only in a good way. An evil god that's good will never hurt, harm, or destroy without legal realities or like a legitimate reason. So a good evil is only going to attack or be gross when they have every legal right to be doing it, because you didn't have a right to do whatever you were doing. That's a good evil god. So just remember that they chose the devil, who hurts like babies to death and gross, disgusting stuff. And they are this kind of a planet. Because they could have chosen good evil gods that just love to be obsessed with fun black magic. Because, I mean, they're not good people. Earth is not good people. What would good people say? A good person would say, I don't like goody, goody, goody church, but like, what else you got? So then an evil, good God would say, well, I've got black magic, and it will fuck you up when you do anything wrong, but we're good, so we don't do anything bad unless there's a reason. See, then they have evil and good, and they can pick which church. The good evil, because it's a culture, a spirituality, or the good. And there's good medium, kind of the balance of in between, where they don't trash their enemies, but they're not as passive as goody gods. And see, you could have picked any type of good god from those categories, but the majority of the world chose child abusing, gross, sicko, criminal, disgusting antichrist against goodness type gross things. So that's why predominantly everything is owned by gross and bad. But what is the inevitable ending? Well, the inevitable ending is not that the devil gets to brag that God became nothing because humanity is so gross. And that's the sad thing nobody ever wants to talk about. This is the ending of the choices. So they chose nothing but crime and bad in church and everywhere else during the days of Jesus. They chose nothing but crime and bad in the days of my existence. Now is the great white throne judgment. They have to pay for all of it once and for all. So it's the fun of treating Jesus like shit. It's the fun of owning church and owning everything and treating Jesus like the outcast while he came down to work a miracle. And then sadly, it's the inevitable payment that God's God. And the devil won so that God understood how much everybody needed to die for how disgusting and criminal and sickening they are. And that's all it really means. When you keep choosing bad, you think that you're like the empire invincible giant that chooses bad things until bad just can win. No. If God wins, they have to pay forever for all of it. Now, see, if I did not resurrect, this is why they were murdering me with this is why humanity was making deals with the devil to murder me in the embryo that I was stuck in and stuff. If I did not resurrect, then the fact that they chose only bad would be the reality of the actual victory of bad and future of just bad things. But when I resurrect and win, which, see, I had to keep dying or overcome anything and everything to win. But when I win, then ultimately good God reality, the reality of the strength of good God is all that won. Which means now they have to die and pay for every penny and more they had no right to give to bad devil forces. And that's the white throne judgment, where everything is made right once and for all. And all of their sickening, devil overloaded worship and more against Jesus and heavens and more has to be dealt with and paid for once and for all. So all of the sins or crimes of all things have to be cashed in, cashed out, and they have to die for all of it. So it's really scary and really sad stuff. They die unthinkably in front of everybody. So that's why I always tell you guys, think or say, my queen, my queen, my queen. Make sure that you're good with God and gods are good with you guys. And then just stay far away from 666, really gross, really bad people. So you never have to care about like the bad, how the story ends, like the sickening against God sections. And then it doesn't matter.